Hey, Tony. So I watched your video and kind of checked out your what you were doing. Kind of checked out what they were doing. So there's a couple of things that we can work on. What I'm gonna make what this video is gonna be about is gonna be about your movement, how to move, your stance, a little bit modifying that, and your roundhouse. All right. So we're gonna start off with your stance. So far it looks pretty good. You know, your hands are up, you're here, and you're bouncing, so that's good. It means you have good mobility. But I feel like your stance might be a little too narrow, meaning your feet are too close, and you're too upright. You're too tall. And the reason why I personally prefer having a bigger stance with and like a wider base and a lower stance, I should say, actually, is that it allows me to have better explosive movements, right? And you're like my size, you're like my physical stature kind of build, so probably you want to be more mobile. You don't want to be so stuck to the ground, because that means you're going to be getting hit a lot more. So one thing is like this. We're going to just work on your stance a little bit. Okay, so if you're looking at your guarding stance, I want you to have from your front foot and your back foot the length. I want it about like 2 of your shoulder width. All right, 2 shoulder widths, and then. So from this way, if it was a completely neutral stance, it should be 2 shoulder width in between your feet. If you're looking at somebody from the front, between your front and your back, how about 1 shoulder width? All right. So this gives you a nice ability to push forward, push backward, push sideways, and kind of give you a nice stable base. Your toes, I generally like to have my front one pointed forward. If it's not completely straight, it's like it's not 45. It's in between a 45 and a 90 degree. If 90 was facing my opponent and 0 was facing just right, it'd be anywhere from 45 to 90 degree. Your back foot my back foot is more 45, and this just gives me a capacity to push off the ground, right? And gives it the explosive speed and gives me power. So I kind of want to change your stance a little bit, so it's a little bit bigger, and I want you to be low. I don't want you to be so upright, okay? Because when you're upright and you're standing really tall, you don't have any capacity to push off the ground because your legs are already straight. If you're bent, now your legs can extend and you can push and drive off the ground. You can't do that if you're already upright. Okay, so this is the first thing I want you to work on is your stance. Just kind of make it a little bit wider. It doesn't have to be excessive, and to keep your back heel up and bend your knees a little bit. Your hands are like this right now, which is fine. It's a very traditional stance. For me, I like it to a certain degree. I'm okay with my backhand here, but my front hand I like to have more. I like to move my front hand more, and I like to use it as a measuring device for how far I am from my opponent. Okay. So my backhand I'll keep close, so I can block, and my front hand I'm gonna have it not always like this, because if somebody's kick is coming and I'm blocking like this, I'm blocking very close to my body. At least if I'm out here, I can stop it away from my body, right? So front hand forward, backhand back, and you can move, and you can reach, and you can check. You can lean, you can check how far they are. You can come back into a safe distance. So that's your stance. You're bouncing. So now moving on, your bouncing is pretty good. Sometimes you kind of tend to do this thing where you're shuffling your feet to move. It's fine, but if you want to have explosive movements, you don't want to be shuffling and stepping like this. You should be pushing off the ground. That's why your stance, I want it to be lower. Okay, so if you're moving forward, I want you pushing off your back leg like this. You're extending, so you're going to go like this, pushing off that back leg. If you're moving backward because you're trying to make the miss, push off that front leg here, right? It's so much faster than you should be like this, like this, like this, like this. Just stay low and here. Okay, just learn to shift. Forward, back, forward. Here. Right? And you're ready. As soon as you move back, you're ready. You're loaded here. You're loaded here so you can kick them. Right? If you move here, load again. Fire. At any moment, you should be ready to fire that roundhouse. Boom. So yeah, moving forward, push off your back. Moving back, push off your foot. Moving sideways. So moving sideways is a little bit more different. We'll get more into it in another video, but right now I'm just going to give you the gist. Since your right leg is closer to your right, your left leg is closer to your left in just normal orthodox stance. When you move to your right, you're going to push off your left leg. When you move into your left, push off your right leg. Alright, same kind of idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can move in whatever direction you want, and it's all pushing based. It's not shuffling. There's no shuffling. So those are your movement stuff, alright? Your technique, that is the last thing we're going to work on. Forget about, right now I'm doing back kicks and stuff. Somebody coming in. I know they're going to want you to do back kicks, but at your level, you need to have a nice roundhouse. I mean like a phenomenal roundhouse, okay? If you can have a beautiful roundhouse, then you can start working on back kicks and other things. Still work on your back kick in like class and training and stuff, but for sparring purpose, I want you to really focus on a beautiful roundhouse, explosive, very powerful, and most importantly, very accurate. Wherever you aim, you should be hitting every time. When you throw a roundhouse, I want you to be able to throw a roundhouse with the utmost confidence, knowing that you're going to hit them. Alright? In all the years I've done Taekwondo, I've used just a handful of techniques the whole time. It's a roundhouse or variations of roundhouses, so like off-the-line style roundhouses. So roundhouse, back kick eventually, jump back kick, spinning hook kick, or jump spinning hook kick, and a double on the occasion. Alright, and that's just to keep it different. And I was a very right leg dominant fighter. I fought with my right leg more than anything. Oh, and I like to punch, and we'll get into that later. Right now, you know, there's a lot of things to punching that we'll cover in another video, so you can have a strong punch. And the thing is, the punching isn't really going to be for points. It's going to be more for if you want to have an aggressive style of fighting, then you're going to start adding punches, because punching is just kind of really mean, and it takes the fight out of somebody. So we'll talk about it in another video. But let's talk about roundhouse right now. From that stance of yours, right now your roundhouse is decent, but it's coming at this like angle, like it's coming at this angle, which is fine, but it's not going to get you power. It's not the same as having a nice, clean, technical roundhouse, right? So I want you to really, drill the roundhouse technique, coming straight up through the middle, and then turn everything so your shin is perfectly parallel to the ground. Okay, not angle, parallel. So you're coming up and cut through, and aim slightly past the body. So if your target is here, aim on this side of their body, so you penetrate through their body. Okay. Here. If I was low, instead of coming this way, right, you're gonna come right through the middle. Your bottom foot would pivot, turning your leg shin horizontal, and it's not here, it's here, and then you extend. Fold, immediately put it down. Here and down. As soon as you come down, now you're ready to move. You're ready to get her out or come in. You can do whatever you need to do, but you can move once your foot is down. So don't ever kick and let it fall. Kick and drive your foot back to the ground so you're ready to move. Okay? So work on your stance. Let's make a video and like show you what it looks like. Work on your stance. Work on your movement, pushing instead of stepping and waddling and stuff, and your roundhouse, explosive roundhouse. Have somebody hold the paddle. Have them hold the right hand like this, right? And just stick it out in front of you, and then keep a distance. Don't be so close. Keep a nice distance. Reach. If you can almost touch with your fingers, you're close enough. You don't need to be close enough to touch with your hand. If I can touch with my hand, that's a punching distance. All right. I don't need to be this close to hit them. I can be this good. I mean, this far away and still hit them with a roundhouse. Your legs are a lot longer than your arms, so keep a distance. When you see that paddle come out, you should be hitting it before it can completely extend. You should be catching it and closing the distance, or catching it and making the distance. So those are the kind of things that I want you to work on. Your stance, movement, and just work on your roundhouse. Speed, power, accuracy. Hit it every time. Get so comfortable with your roundhouse that it's not even something you have to think about. You're sparring, if you see that target, you can throw a roundhouse. You're sparring, the kick, you make a miss, you got that roundhouse. Every time you should be able to hit them with a roundhouse. I'll make another video on a back kick and talking about the technique for that and how you can drill that and reaction times for it, because a lot of it is just timing. You can have the nicest technique and your timing sucks and you will never hit them, right? So that's why the paddle drill is good, because it's a timing thing. As soon as you see the target, you should be hitting it. Back kick is the same thing. Also, eventually after that, I'll make a video on a double, or I think there's already a video I made for double, continuous, triples kind of deal, roundhouse kicks. So I'll give you that too. You check out this video first, then check out the other, and then let me know what you think. If there's any kind of questions you have, shoot me on Facebook, and or message me or on YouTube or whatever. Just leave a comment, and I will make a different video if you have any requests. All right, peace.